Hello children, how are you all? I hope you are fine and safe. I am Dakshayani, handling biology from Bardasnar Metric Higher Secondary School, Arakonam. Children, today we are going to discuss the second chapter in 12th standard zoology, human reproduction. And in this session, we are going to discuss about the oogenesis, right? What do you mean by oogenesis, children? Oogenesis means right? Oogonium, or it refers to ovum. Plus genesis means formation. Genesis means formation. So, the process of formation of egg or ovum from the ovary, we call it as oogenesis, right? And what is the structure of the ovary, children? The structure of the ovary is elliptical, and we all know the medulla is fully supplied with the blood vessels and nerve supply, and the cortex is fully filled with the cells, right? For example, what happens here? The primordial cells are formed. Later, and at the stage of primary oocyte, the cell division is arrested and it forms a primary follicle. Next, secondary follicle. Next, it enlarges to produce a tertiary follicle. Later, Graafian follicle. Graafian follicle full of water filled antrum is formed, and here the ovum, the primary oocyte is developed into secondary oocyte, and later what happens? The secondary oocyte is released. This process we call it as what? Ovulation. The process of release, we used to say, children, the process of release of ovum. But what is released at that time? From the Graafian follicle, the secondary oocyte is released, and the empty Graafian follicle converted into a scar tissue called as corpus luteum, and finally it's become a scar-like tissue called Scapus albicans. Right, children? So, we discussed at the time of spermatogenesis, the sperms are formed in the male only at the time of puberty. Spermatogenesis in males starts at the age of puberty, but in female it is not like this. When the female child starts to develop in her mother's womb, right, the ovary also develops. So, the fetal ovary starts to develop, and at the starting stage there will be millions of primordial cells. Millions of primordial cells or oogonium. Oogonium. Okay, or we can say it as a egg mother cells. Egg mother cells, right, is formed. Why? While at the time of birth itself, the oogonium is completely developed, but no more oogonia is added after birth. Just underline your book, children. No more oogonia is added or formed after birth, right? And so, what we study, children? The ovaries at the time of fetal development itself, what starts to develop? Fetal ovary, and then fetal ovary undergo the cell division and form millions of egg mother cells are oogonium, and no more oogonia is added after birth, right? And now what happens, right? So, millions of oogonium is formed, right? We discussed millions of oogonium is formed at the birth. But when the child reaches the pubertal age, that is at the age of 12, right, what happens? Many of the cells, primordial cells, get degenerated, and at the pubertal age, the female possesses how many developed follicles, children? 60,000 to 80,000. So, just imagine at the time of birth, how many oogonium is there? Millions. And at the age of puberty, 60,000 to 80,000, and when the child reaches the reproductive age, nearly how much? 400 follicles, 400 What do you mean by mitosis, children? Mitosis means the cell division in which the condition of the nucleus does not change. So here oogonium is diploid, likewise same, the primary oocyte is also diploid, right? So what happens? This primary oocyte will undergo, which is diploid, will undergo meiosis. What do you mean by meiosis, children? Meiosis is a reduction cell division, so it develops into secondary oocyte. But here the cell division is unequal, right? The cell is divided unequally and the cell which is large becomes a secondary oocyte and the cell which is less in number becomes a polar body. Polar body later disintegrates. So what happens? The primary oocyte develops into secondary, undergo meiosis cell division to form secondary oocyte and first polar body, and later secondary oocyte will undergo the meiosis 2. Meiosis 2 to form the egg, that is ovum or egg, and the second polar body is formed. Second polar body is formed, right? So the secondary oocyte is released from the Graafian follicle and the development of secondary oocyte into the ovum takes place at the time of fertilization only, just before the fertilization. So if fertilization occurs, what happens? The egg cell and the sperm cell fuse to form a zygote. And what happens if fertilization did not take place? If fertilization does not occur, this meiosis 2 cell division does not takes place. So what happens? The egg destroys. So this is how the development of the female gamete takes place in the ovary. So now let us recall in short, right? So what is the first formed cell, children? It is a primordial cell, or we can call it as what? It develops into oogonium, or we can also call it as oogonium. And later what happens? It develops, it undergo the mitosis cell division to form the primary oocyte. To form what, children? Primary oocyte. It's an important question, right? In your book back it is asked, give the schematic representation of the spermatogenesis and oogenesis. So we have discussed about the spermatogenesis and this is the schematic representation of oogenesis. And later what happens? Primary oocyte undergo meiosis. Meiosis 1 to produce, this is what, children? Secondary oocyte. So it forms a secondary oocyte and the polar body. Secondary oocyte and polar body. And later what happens? The secondary nucleus again divides unequally to form the egg. That is the ovum and the second polar body, right? Later what happens? Both the polar bodies get destroyed. So from here one important twisted question is asked, children. As a result of spermatogenesis, a single spermatogonium forms 4 sperms. So in males, from a single spermatogonium cells, how many sperms are formed? 4 sperms are formed. 4 haploid sperms. But as a result of oogenesis, how many egg is formed? Only 1 egg or ovum is formed. So from this they may ask one more question. So now we are going to study about the structure of, and now we are going to study about the structure of the ovum, right? So this is the structure of the ovum, children. It comes for practical exams also. You have to observe the structure of ovum through the microscope and you have to identify the slide and you have to draw the picture for the practical exams, right? So it's an important question, and now just I will explain and I will teach you how to draw, right? What happens? The outermost layer we call it as corona radiata fully. What are these, children? These are all the follicle cells. fully surrounded by the follicle cells. So outermost layer is corona radiata, and next to it the innermost layer is a vitelline membrane. In middle vitelline membrane, and innermost we see the zona pellucida, and what is present at the center? Nucleus, and it is surrounded by the fluid called as cytoplasm. Cytoplasm is also called as ooplasm. Ooplasm, right children? And one important book back question here. Human egg is alecital, and non-cleidoic. What is the meaning of this? It is given in your first line, non-cleidoic. What do you mean by this? Alecital means absence of egg yolk. If you get a hen's egg, what you see inside? You see a egg yolk inside, right? Yellow color, karu, it will be present inside. But likewise, it is not found inside the human egg. So, human egg, due to the absence of yolk, we can call it as alecital. And what do you mean by non-cleidoic? For example, you take a hen's egg or some other reptile's egg, you can see the shell over the egg, right children? But in human egg, it is not covered by a shell. So, absence of shell, we can say it as non-cleidoic. So, it's a one mark question. So, now let us draw the structure of the ovum, right? So, first you draw the innermost, it is vitelline membrane, and this is a what? This is a nucleus surrounded by the what children? This is not what? Ooplasm, right? And next you are going to draw the second membrane, and finally what? What is this children? It is a follicle cells which covers a group of follicle cells. So, follicle, outermost layer, fully follicle means what? It has a cell, right? So, follicle, so this is the structure of the ovum. And what is outermost layer children? Outermost layer, corona radiata. Corona radiata, and next to it we can see the primary membrane, that is zona pellucida. Zona pellucida, and next to inner to it we can see it, what is it? So, vitelline membrane. Vitelline membrane. And in between the zona pellucida and vitelline membrane, there is a space called as perivitelline space. What we can say? Perivitelline space. And what is present inside children? Center nucleus. Nucleus is also called as a germinal vesicle, and the cytoplasm we call it as ooplasm. So, this is the structure of the ovum, and we label the parts. So, now we can discuss some of the one more question here. Mammalian egg is, right? Ditesh, just answer my question. Mammalian egg is, what is the correct option here? Yes? Very good. Alecital and non-cleidoic. Alecital and non-cleidoic. And second one, the membranous cover of the ovum at the time of ovulation. So, at the time of ovulation, when it released as a secondary oocyte, what is outermost covering? Corona radiata. Yes, very good. Next one, the polar bodies are produced during the formation of, when the first polar body is formed children? So, when the secondary oocyte, when the primary oocyte get developed into, transformed into secondary oocyte, the first polar body is formed. Yes. So, what is the answer? Secondary oocyte. And the cleidoic eggs are the characteristics of, right? Tarni just answered my question. Cleidoic means what I said? Cleidoic means with the shell. Human egg is non-cleidoic. So, cleidoic eggs, in which eggs we can see? Mammals? No. Insects? No. And which is the correct one? Reptiles, birds and insects. In hen's egg, you can see what? Shell. So, cleidoic eggs are the characteristics of reptiles, birds and insects. Right. Next, from this and 2 mark, I told you children, what is the difference between primary oocyte and secondary oocyte? You have to write the differences. It is a diploid, it is haploid. And describe the structure of human ovum with the label diagram. Just now we practiced the diagram. Give a schematic representation of spermatogenesis and oogenesis. Yes, we studied about the schematic representation also. So children, with this session comes to an end. What we discussed in this session? We discussed about the oogenesis and the structure of the ovum and how to draw the ovum. Okay children, with this session comes to an end. So with this we have attached a study material, question bank, assessment and need based questions along with this chapter. Go through it and read the topics well and make sure how far you understood the lesson. Thank you children. Have a nice day.